What is up, Go Nation? That car guy Eddie here, and today a video. Whoop whoop. Today is actually the 17th of September. Yes, today's the 17th of September. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful day here in California, and thank you very much for tuning into today's video. I hope your day, whether it's COVID, whatever's going on, is actually a good one. Today's video is actually going to be regarding video games. So if you're not a video gamer, you can feel free to leave now. No, I'm just kidding. It's so funny when you talk about video games, right? And video gamers, because what did video gamers used to be? They used to be it used to be a niche, it used to be something that people did that were dorks. It was something that it was a hobby for some people, but for the majority of people, it wasn't. It was just something that some people did. And slowly, over time, video games have become incredibly more adopted into our world, into our society, into our culture. It's cool to watch. I'm old enough to remember I remember playing my Nintendo, and I had friends that were girls, and I was shocked because girls were playing video games. And now, if you go on YouTube or Instagram, basically anybody with tits is a video game reviewer now. So now I don't know if they do that for views, which if they do, hey, good for them. But as long as the content is good, But like I said, video games have become a lot more mainstream, and I think we're in the 7th generation of video games. I do, I really do. Because so first generation was like Atari and television. Second generation is going to be your Nintendo, Sega Master System of games. Third generation is going to be Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Fourth generation is going to be Nintendo 64 era, Dreamcast, right around that same time. And then, so what? That's 5? No, that's 4. So fifth generation is going to be PlayStation 2, 3, 4. Are we on console generation 8? What is this? I guess it depends when you start counting, because some people don't count the video game generation starting way back when at Atari or in television, but theoretically it did. But anyways, back to the video. So here's what's going on. So the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. First of all, Microsoft, Bill Gates, look, dude, I know you subscribe. Who the hell do you have naming your consoles? Dude, you're such an idiot. Xbox Series X, Xbox, like that. Dude, at least PlayStation is like, oh, I know what we are going to do. We are going to name it number 5. It just makes more sense. Or change the damn name. Like, guess what? A Nintendo 64 was still called the Nintendo 64, the Nintendo GameCube, right? You could call it the Xbox anything. You could call it the Xbox Freeway Overpass, okay? You cause confusion with casual gamers when you mess up or you make similar titles. Didn't you learn from the Wii? So you had the Nintendo Wii and then the Nintendo Wii U. Seriously, when the Nintendo Wii U came out, I was like, what the hell is the Nintendo Wii U? Is it an extension of the Wii? Is it like another peripheral that I could get for the Wii? No, what is it? Do you call it the Wii? Do you call it the Wii U? See, you run into all sorts of issues with naming because you get people who are casual gamers who may or may not know the difference between it. And that's just the thing that I think is really missing the whole regarding marketing of all of this, is that the casual gamers are slowly becoming more mainstream. So besides, I think the name is stupid. We'll leave that there. Xbox is going to be releasing a pair of systems, the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, basically $300 versus $500. Now, they did something a little strange here. They actually changed the architecture of the S versus the X. So the cheaper one, the one without the optical drive, is $300. And the more expensive one with the optical drive and better components is $500. Now, if you are trying to decide between the two right now, save your money, save your pennies, buy it on the payment plan, buy the X. Let me tell you why. Very, very simple. The S is an all-digital console, and it comes with a solid-state hard drive. However, the solid-state hard drive it comes with is 512 gigabytes. Let's say, hypothetically, you buy Xbox Game Pass, you download a couple games, right? Games are big, okay? Call of Duty is huge. I think it's like 138 gigs or something like that. So, theoretically, if you have the all-digital version, you will probably be able to have about 8 games at any given time on your console saved. 8. You'd have to download, delete, download, delete, download, delete. Now, you can buy the 1 terabyte expansion, which is not going to be solid state. It's going to be flash memory, but you can buy it. But the price of the 1 terabyte extension is $225. Now, let's rewind for a second. Why would you buy a system that has less memory but relies on that memory to do the work of the system? And if you do want to upgrade the memory, you're going to be paying $25 more than the badass system that has twice the graphical horsepower. I don't even understand. Unless there's some genius marketing guy or girl over at Microsoft, and they're like, you know what? We're going to make an entry-level point, $300. And then some guy was like, well, wait a second. Like, okay, and if they download a couple of games, it's cool. Because we'll charge $200 for this thing. Because stupid people are not smart enough to think ahead. So they'll end up paying more for this shitty system. Like, there is something that does concern me about the architecture, though. Having the 2 consoles. And the thing that worries me is that the Xbox Series X is significantly stronger, okay? They measure video games now by teraflops and ray tracing and all that stuff like that, right? The Xbox Series S, from everything that I've seen, is effectively 4 teraflops, okay? 4. Now, the current Xbox One X, the 4K system that a lot of people have currently, is 6 teraflops, but don't get it twisted, because it's different levels of teraflops, which basically means better quality, faster, effectively. So it's similar to like better, faster, quicker RAM, you know? So technically, the new Series X is going to be 12 teraflops. So you're getting a system with 3 times the power in the Series X. So you say, awesome, I want to buy the Series X, because that's what I said. As soon as I started looking at the numbers, I was like, damn, $200, it's hella worth it to buy the X. It's going to be more future-proof. You're going to be able to play games on it longer. It's just going to make more sense. It's a graphical powerhouse. However, what I'm completely worried about is I'm worried about the development of the games. Trying to make games for a console, you will not be able to push the game as hard because the game will have to work on both consoles. See where I'm going with this here? It's like, what's a good analogy? You know, it's like the console has to be able to support the game, or you're going to make games that are Xbox Series X only. If you think about it, Nintendo did this with the 3DS, actually. So when the Nintendo 3DS XL came out, and then the new Nintendo 3DS, they put a better chip in there, and you got to play better games because certain games were released as new 3DS games only. The problem with that is that eats into the bottom line of what the game manufacturers actually make when it comes to the development and the cost and the ROI of the game, the return on the investment. So my only concern, and it could be completely, unfair to say this to Microsoft, is if you make 2 different consoles with 2 different specs, game developers are going to build the games so that they can play on the slower console. I hope that they maximize the true ability of the Xbox One or Xbox Series X. I really hope, and that's my only hope. It is. Now, let's go over to PS5. I was excited for the PS5 release. I am not necessarily a Nintendo fanboy. I have a couple buddies who are like, oh, fuck PlayStation. It's stupid. I'm not even going to deal with it. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's not me at all. Like, I'm going to give it a fair shake because console generations and console wars are good for gamers. You guys hear that? Say it again. Console wars are good for gamers. It's like sports cars push each other to make better sports cars. It's like Harley Davidson made the same shitty bike for like 35 years that guys paid way too much money for. Victory came around and Harley Davidson was like, whoa, we got to step our game up. Because competition is good. It forces companies to innovate. So, PS5, I'm giving it a fair shake. I think it looks like a spaceship, whatever. That doesn't matter. The looks of the system doesn't matter. So they had their reveal. They're offering two consoles of the exact same specifications. Okay? Same specifications. One has an optical drive. The other one does not have an optical drive. $499 and $399. Now, the problem is, I don't know much of the other specs. I don't know what size hard drive is going to be in it. I don't really know a whole lot about the PlayStation. I really don't, and I'll be honest with you. And that's because I wasn't even leaning towards a PlayStation. Mainly because I don't play the games on PlayStation. And really, that's what it comes down to. When you're looking at the systems, it's the exclusives that you're going to want. Like, for instance, if you like the Last of Us series, you're probably going to want to buy a PlayStation, right? If you want the show, an MLB game, you're probably, wait, that's going to come out on Xbox. See? So, if you like God of War, like I don't play games like that, you know? I like multiplayer games. That is where my niche is. And to be honest with you, multiplayer games, they're going the way of cross-play anyways. So if you have a PlayStation or you have a Xbox, it doesn't really matter. So for me, the PlayStation is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I would probably buy the digital one, depending on the internal hard drive space of the PlayStation. If it was my money, I'd probably save the $100 because it is a less powerful system. I think it's 8 teraflops or 10 teraflops or something like that. It's a less powerful system, so I expect to pay less for it. And that's the one that I would probably buy. Unless I had a whole crap ton of PS4 games floating around. Like physical disc media PS4 games that I like to play. And in that case, I would probably buy the one with the optical drive. You see, whenever there's a console generation like this and there's a shift for like, as soon as the PlayStation 4 becomes not relevant and you see a price drop of the console, you could get PS4 games, great PS4 games, for like dollars. I'm talking $4 and $5 for PS4 games. So if you wanted to build your collection, you most definitely could do that. But like I said, it comes down to the games and playing it through the games and stuff like that. Now, I have been seeing, I'm part of a few video game forums, and I have been seeing that there are basically scarcities already with the PS5. They're already saying that the PS5 is going to be scarce, okay? They're saying, look, we're not going to be able to make them fast enough due to COVID. We're releasing them in 2 different batches, so there's not going to be enough PS5s. Cool, I understand that. People have bought out the PS5s like crazy. They have started to buy them. They have started to resell them already within the system. I mean, it is scary seeing what resellers are doing. And if you are a video game person and you like video games and you're a reseller who buys a console for $500, who buys 8 consoles for $500 and resells them for $1,000 a piece, you are a shit bag. Okay? I will tell you that right now. You're not a good person. You are not a good person. You're the same person that when COVID started, you bought a whole fucking van load of toilet paper so that you could resell it. Like, what you are doing is not good for the gaming community. Don't buy and resell consoles, man. It's like the worst thing. You want consoles in the hands of as many people as possible to drive development of the games. Not sitting around on unemployment because you got fired from Burger King and you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to max out my credit card on this. Supply and demand, baby. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, that is just, you're just a shitbag if you resell those things. I'm part of this board, and this guy was like, I got 8 of them. I was up all night on bestbuy.com buying them, and I'm going to flip them for like $1,500 a piece. People go ape shit for video games. I remember when the PS3 was released, I had a friend who stood in line at Circuit City, and he paid people $100 to stand in line with him, got a PS3, traded the PS3 for a Trans Am. He traded a system for a $4,000 Trans Am. Or maybe it was 2 systems. I don't know what it was. But that's freaking crazy. And it's because of artificial demand. You don't even know that there's going to be scarcity yet. And people are freaking out because of artificial demand. That doesn't even exist yet because of it may be out. So why are you guys going to buy a shittier system because of false demand? I don't know. Anyways, that's my rant today on video games. If you like the video, definitely subscribe and drop a comment below on which system you're going to get. My gamer tag is the Angry Goat on Xbox, so hit me up, we'll play. I'm alright. I am funny. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.